Okay, great. Welcome everyone to the October 28th, 2020 meeting of the Rotterdam Town Board. This evening, we ended our agenda session at approximately 6:35 p.m. And we at that time, during the discussion, there was a motion made to table at 6:47 p.m. to table a resolution authorizing a bond anticipation note for the High Bridge Sewer District number 6A project. That motion was made by Councilmember Guidarelli and seconded by Councilmember Christou. So that resolution is tabled until our next meeting, which will be in November. So I just wanted everyone to know that before we start. Ms. Marco, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Christou?
Present.
Mr. Guidarelli?
Present.
Mrs. Miller Herrera?
Present.
Mr. Signor?
Present.
And Mr. Thomasone?
Present.
5 present.
Would you all please stand and recite the pledge? Diane, do you mind starting us on the pledge, please?
Not a problem. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mhm.
So just continuing, so to recognize our Order Sons of Italy in Rotterdam. So October is Italian Heritage Month, and just wanted to again recognize them during this meeting for all their good works in our community and beyond. We have had some calls about Halloween. We spoke about this at our prior meeting, and we did put out a press release and some information on our website and Facebook, just following guidance from the CDC and the state troopers. So I'll just give this read this through. This year has been challenging for all of us, and as we enter the holiday season with Halloween just a few days away, we ask for any door-to-door Halloween activities to begin no earlier than 4 p.m. and to cease at dusk or no later than 7 p.m. We ask you to strongly consider the COVID-19 guidance of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and New York State Troopers to ensure a safe and fun time for everyone. You can find the links and corresponding information on the town's website and Facebook pages. We recognize that this is we're making this recommendation, and we recognize that some neighborhoods, some families, others are going to maybe do things a little earlier during the day. And we're asking, though, from a perspective of the other activities, if you could keep it during that time, that would be great. But this is not I'll call it not a command. It is a strong recommendation to follow the guidance of the CDC and the state troopers here for everyone's safety. Veterans Day services, Wednesday, November 11th, 2020. So our town meeting, so that you know, that will be the Tuesday before. We will not have a meeting on that Wednesday. That is the second Wednesday of the month. We will be having a meeting on November 10th, Tuesday night. And so please join us at 2:30 p.m. at Town Hall. The ceremony will be following a similar schedule as normal, with the exception of a guest speaker. The ceremony will take place outside in Veterans Park, next to Town Hall at 1100 Sunrise Boulevard. In the event of inclement weather, unfortunately, we're not able to move the ceremony inside due to COVID restrictions. So we're hopeful that we'll have a nice day and be able to hold this outside. Last year it was a beautiful day. Last year we were able to hold it outside, to my recollection. Social distancing and masks will be required during the ceremony. So just to let everyone know that. So thank you very much for your consideration, and thanks to all the veterans for all of their service to all of us. Thank you. So under the order of business for this evening, I'd just like to say we will have 3 public hearings this evening. And during those public hearings, what we'll do is we will ask if anyone would like to speak during the public hearings. There are a few people on the in the meeting here. If you would like to speak, if you would just let us know now if that's possible. If you would like to speak during the public hearings, or after they're announced, obviously, and I'll ask for you to speak. Or if you have anything under public comment, privilege of the floor, if you could tell us now that you'd like to speak, that would be great, and it would help us to conduct the meeting in a more efficient manner.
I did send a request to each individual that's not a board member that's currently logged on at the meeting to unmute themselves, but no one, 2 people have unmuted themselves.
Okay, so,
And I will have a PowerPoint presentation for each of those public hearings.
okay. Griffin unmuted. Did you want to speak during one of the public hearings or public comment privilege of the floor?
No, I was just here. I'm here as a to listen in on the meeting because I'm a student at Shaman High School,
Okay,
and I'm listening in on this for my government class.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to see what goes on tonight, see how everything goes.
all right. And I'll just let you know that if you have any, any desire for any particular documentation or anything like that, if you don't find what you're looking for on our, on our website, feel free to call the office here. The number's, of course, 518-355-7575, and it's extension 393. If you're looking for some information, if you call too early or the folks are out doing something, working with someone, just leave a message. They'll get back to you. And if there's any documentation or some other links or something that we can send to you to help you, just let us know. Be happy.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So you can mute yourself if you like, and then
I will. Yeah.
yeah. And then if you have a strong desire to say something, go ahead and unmute and raise your hand, and we'll let you.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so let's move into public hearing 1 at this time. Ms. Marco, would you please read
Ready?
the notice? Yes.
Okay. The Highbridge Pump Station, as well as the Kings Road Pump Station, do not currently have an on-site emergency generator or an alarm notification system. The improvements at the Kings Road Pump Station are limited to installing an on-site emergency generator, as well as installing a SCADA system, which includes alarm notifications. The Highbridge Pump Station requires new pumps and associated equipment, slider rails, motor controllers, etc. In addition to the new on-site emergency generator and SCADA system with alarm notifications. Also, since the Highbridge pumps have not been used in many months, the force main will need to be serviced prior to commissioning of the replacement pumps. The Highbridge Pump Station force main needs maintenance. To complete the recommended improvements project, the existing Highbridge Pump Station, including the wet well, must be removed from service. Prior to taking the existing pump station offline, the contractor must install a temporary sewer bypass or continue to provide maintenance of sewer flows typical to how the town currently does with a vacuum truck and hauling. So there are no service interruptions to the businesses impacted by the work. Prior to the new pumps and equipment installation at Highbridge, the contractor will perform force main maintenance, most likely using a pigging technique. Bypass pumping or service interruptions are not anticipated for the installation of the emergency generators at both pump stations. Temporary bypass piping may be required for the Kings Road Pump Station when the SCADA system is installed at this location. The town plans to bond the proposed project for 30 years at an estimated 2.75% interest rate. The total proposed annual cost for the Highbridge and Kings Road Pump Station improvements is approximately $850 per EDU. Any town order by resolution establishing the proposed district is subject to permissive referendum as provided by the New York State Town Law. The map, plan, and report is available for public inspection in the office of the Rotterdam Town Clerk by appointment due to the restrictions put in place pursuant to the executive law of the state of New York and in the public interest. It shall be also available at the www.rotterdamny.org.
Okay, anyone like to be heard on public hearing 1? Joe, I'll give you a minute here. Let me just see if there's anyone on the line. Anyone like to be heard on public hearing 1 at this time? Okay, Mr. Llanero, go ahead.
Okay, I will share my screen. Let's see, there's 2 of them here. That's this is the one. Okay. Town of Rotterdam Sewer District 6A, Highbridge and Kingsville Pump Station Improvements Public Hearing. Let's see. I'm going to follow the PowerPoint presentation so the PowerPoint presentation can become part of the permanent record. The existing infrastructure in the sewer district 6A, currently consists of 2 pump stations, approximately 4,750 linear foot of 3-inch sanitary sewer force main, and approximately 850 linear foot of sanitary sewer gravity main. The Kings Road pump station collects all flows from the sewer district and discharges into the city of Schenectady's gravity sewer main. The High Bridge pump station is currently in need of repair and requires daily maintenance by the town forces. The High Bridge pump station force main will need to be serviced prior to commissioning of the replacement pumps. Neither pump station has a permanent emergency backup generator, only a connection for a portable generator. Neither pump station is connected to the town SCADA system. Sewer District 6A pump station and force main location map. The Time Warner or High Bridge pump station is located in front of Time Warner or Charter. And then there's a 3-inch force main that runs under the thruway all along High Bridge Road, all the way down to a point where it connects to the Kings Road pump station. And at that point, the Kings Road pump station has a force main under the railroad tracks and ties into the city system. Proposed operation and maintenance improvements will include the installation of on-site emergency backup generators at both pump station locations. It will include the installation of a SCADA system at both pump stations to upgrade the pump stations to the existing current standards. It's going to include the replacement of the existing inoperable pumps at the High Bridge pump station, and it will include cleaning and pigging of the High Bridge pump station force main. How will the cost be distributed? The estimated project cost is $378,450. How much will district ratepayers pay? The estimated annual debt for the Kings Road and High Bridge pump station improvements based upon a 30-year loan at 2.75% relates to $18,689.53 in principal and interest payments on an annual basis, divided by the 22 EDUs within the district, and that results in a $849.52 or $850 cost per EDU. I would like to point out that typically the town starts with a ban, a bond anticipation note that is typically at less than 1%. And that note gets paid down for a certain number of years before it gets converted into a long-term loan. And currently the rates that the town is seeing start much lower than 2.75 and then progressively get larger, but do not exceed 2.75 based upon some recent information provided for assessment purposes. Sewer district parcel table, just to identify what the current EDUs are per parcel. The EDUs were provided by the town and they're a function of metered water use, with the exception of the Viscusi Wholesale Grocers where there's a metered sewer connection at that facility. The largest contributor to the system is the Time Warner Cable or the Charter property. Steps associated with this map and plan include town approval via the New York State Law 2202-B. Note that the additional project scope existing force main maintenance is considered maintenance or repair involving no substantial changes in an existing structure or facility. It is still anticipated that the town will designate the action as a type 2 project under seeker, which is not subject to any seeker review. Bonding, which we talked about earlier, would be delayed until the next meeting. Then negotiate the change order with the contractor for the addition of the additional forest work, which we believe will have that proposal by Friday for action by the town in their first meeting in November. And then once authorized, the work will be related to the commissioning of the system. And I can answer any specific questions. I guess the only other item I'd like to point out is this district bonding includes the SCADA components. The SCADA components were included under a bidding documents presented by another consultant and are one of the items that are on the agenda for tonight regarding action of accepting the bids for the sewage pump station alarms. That bid included the 2 locations as part of this project. So a portion of the funding anticipated in this district formation or this amendment includes the funding to support those SCADA upgrades at those 2 locations. And I will.
And Joe, for the sake of everyone, what does the word SCADA stand for?
It's basically a computer alarm system. So if there's an alarm at the pump station location, it sends a signal back to the main controller that I believe is located at the town's wastewater treatment facility. So that way there's a central location for all of the alarms to be monitored. I believe DEC required, as when the wastewater treatment plant was being upgraded, that provisions for the SCADA system be incorporated, which included monitoring all of the pump stations within the town's sewer districts.
And it also sends out an alert to staff, if you will, to
Yes.
their mobile devices as well.
Yep.
So that they're alerted immediately at the same time that the system is.
Exactly. You know, and that's one of the other benefits of the backup generators that are going to be included on site. The backup generators will automatically turn on and provide power to the pump stations when there is a power outage. So you don't have any delay from the time there's a power outage and there's an operator available to go out with a portable generator to reboot the pump station. So it will provide uninterrupted sewage operation at the two pump station locations. That entire service area is furnished with municipal water. So when there's a power outage, the facility still can take water. If they don't have the ability to manage sewage, it can create an environmental hazard.
Okay, anyone else like to be heard under public hearing 1 this evening? If you do, please unmute yourself and let us know. Anyone else like to be heard under public hearing 1 this evening? Okay, I'm going to declare public hearing 1 closed at this time. Thank you, Mr. Linero, for that.
All right.
And let's move into public hearing 2, Ms. Marco.
The proposed special improvement area includes generally 4 developments referred to as Bigsby Enterprises, which includes the Malozzi's Restaurant, Catering Ballroom, and the Belvedere Hotel, Bigsby Village Condominiums, and the Heritage Condominiums. All 4 facilities are located along Curry Road, NYS Route 7, just south of the intersection of Curry and Altamont Avenue in the town of Rotterdam. The Bigsby Enterprises complex consists of a hotel, Belvedere Inn, and banquet and catering business, Malozzi's Banquet and Catering, along with associated parking and stormwater facilities. The Bigsby Village Condominiums complex consists of approximately 72 apartment-style multifamily residential units with associated consist of 11 manholes and approximately 1,650 linear feet of gravity sewer main. A map of the existing system is presented in Appendix A. There are essentially 3 sections of the entire proposed special improvement area collection system. The first section serves the Heritage Condominiums area. It consists of 5 manholes referred to as SMH number 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and approximately 550 feet of gravity sewer main. The system flows generally from east to northwest to SMH number 0, which is located in the access road to the Bigsby Village Condominiums. The Transportation Corporation, presented in Appendix B, depicts a lateral stub between SMH number 8 and 9, reportedly for the parcels south of the Heritage Condominiums. This connection was never made. If in the future the connection is made, it should be conditioned upon a formal extension of this special improvement area. The second section serves the Bigsby Village Condominiums. It consists of 1 manhole referred to as SMH number 10 and approximately 250 feet of gravity sewer main. The system flows generally from southwest to northwest to SMH number 0. The third section serves the Belvedere Inn and Malozzi's Banquet and Catering and also conveys the prior 2 sections. It consists of 5 manholes referred to as SMH number 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and approximately 850 feet of gravity sewer main. The system flows generally south to north and ends at SMH number 4, which is a connection point to the town's collection system that is ultimately tributary to the town's sewer district number 2. The town's sewer district number 2 conveys flow to the parking and stormwater management facilities. The Heritage Condominiums have approximately 24 townhouse type units along with a common use building, parking areas, and stormwater facilities. The existing sewer main system in the entire proposed special improvement area, town's wastewater treatment plant, WTP, located on Campbell Road. The existing system was previously privately owned by Curry Road Condominium Sewage Corporation and has recently, as of 2019, been conveyed to the town. A copy of the Transportation Corporation report is included in Appendix B. The portion of the existing collection system for SMH number 0 to SMH number 4 is proposed to be replaced to meet current state and town standards. The remaining portion of the existing collection system, manholes and gravity sewer main that serve the Bigsby Village condominiums, SMH number 0 to SMH number 10, and Heritage condominiums, SMH number 0 to SMH number 9, are recommended for further investigation to determine the quality of the system. These sections are recommended to be heavy cleaned and CCTV'd before any further action is taken. The results of the analysis will be reviewed with the town to determine any further action. The total project cost is estimated to be approximately $531,018. The town plans to bond the proposed project for 30 years at an estimated 3.5% interest rate. The total proposed annual cost for special improvement area for Curry Road sewer improvements is approximately $556 per EDU. Any town order by resolution establishing the proposed district is subject to permissive referendum as provided by New York State town law. The map plan and report is available for public inspection in the office of the Rotterdam Town Clerk by appointment due to the restrictions put in place pursuant to executive law of the state of New York and in the public interest. It shall also be available at www.rotterdamny.org.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
All right, anyone like to be heard on public hearing 2 this evening? Okay, Mr. Lanero, go ahead.
It says the screen has been paused for sharing. Can you see the PowerPoint presentation slide?
We can see it just says questions right now.
Okay, I pulled up a new one.
I think this is from the last one.
Joe, you just have to close it out and then you can't switch within the application. So if you just stop
Okay.
sharing your screen and then share
Stop
it
share.
again. Yep, and then go ahead and do it.
Let's share screen. Okay. Curry Road.
There it is.
There it is.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Kate. Let's see. So I'm going to stick to the PowerPoint presentation for the record and just will make a few notes as we go along where there's some additional information that the board should be aware of. So this is the public hearing for the special improvement area for the Curry Road Sewer Improvements Project. Presently, the existing collection system was a previously owned private system on Curry Road that supported the condominiums in that area, as well as a couple commercial properties. The condominiums were in the commercial properties were included in a transportation corporation that was conveyed to the town in 2019. Prior to that conveyance, the town retained Chazen to provide a study of the existing infrastructure. The existing sewer main system in the entire includes about 11 manholes and sanitary sewer system. The sanitary sewer system includes about 1,650 linear foot of gravity sewer. The special improvement area is intended to include 4 parcels. The 4 facilities are all located along Curry Road, New York State Route 7. The developments includes Heritage condominiums, Bigsby Village condominiums, Belvedere Inn, and the Malozzi's Banquet and Catering Facility. These are broken into 3 sections of the entire special improvement area and collection system. Presently, the first section serves the Heritage condominium area. It has 5 manholes and approximately 50 feet of gravity sewer main. In the first section between sanitary manhole 8 and 9, there's a lateral stub reported for the parcel south of the Heritage condominiums. This connection was reportedly never made. If this connection is to be made in the future, that additional property should be included as part of a formal extension of this special improvement area, as it would benefit from the improvements. The second section serves Bigsby Village condominiums. It consists of 1 manhole and approximately 250 feet of gravity sewer main. The third section serves the Belvedere Inn and Malozzi's Banquet and Catering Facility and also conveys the prior 2 sections. The third section has 5 manholes and approximately 850 feet of gravity sewer. It flows south to north and connects to the town's collection system that is tributary to the town's sewer district number 2. Sewer District Number 2 then conveys sewer flow to the town's wastewater treatment plant on Campbell Road. This is a map that depicts the existing conditions. This is the Malozzi's banquet facility, the Belvedere Inn. This is Bigsby Village, and this is the Heritage Condos. This is the little stub that we were talking about that was intended to connect this adjacent property, which never was actually exercised by the adjoining property owner. There was a technical analysis completed where we CCTV'd the existing sewer main between manhole 0 and 4. We prepared a report. The report was dated March 27th, 2019. A summary of the findings were that the CCTV portions were determined to have substantial scum buildup in some areas and showed signs of deterioration. The pipe material appeared to be white PVC. Confirmation of the pipe material could not be made. Further CCTV investigations proposed for the remaining sewer sections servicing Heritage condominiums and the Bigsby Village condominiums. Proposed improvements include the existing 5 manholes and 850 feet of 8-inch gravity sewer main from manhole 0 to manhole 4 as proposed to be replaced. The intent is to replace this system parallel to the existing system and within the existing easements. It should be noted that since the town took ownership of this sewer system, there's been at least 2 occasions where the town had to go out and service the line because it was backing up. Regarding the CCTV inspection and heavy cleaning, it is recommended to be conducted in the remaining sewer sections from manhole 0 to manhole 9 and from manhole 0 to manhole 10 to determine the quality of the system. It appears that permanent utility easements and access easements will be required. And it also appears that the collection system serving Bigsby Village condominiums from manhole 0 to manhole 10 does not have any existing easements, and an easement will likely be needed. Formal easement maps and descriptions will be produced as part of the special improvement area project. This is a map that depicts what we're trying to describe here. This section of sanitary sewer would be replaced. This section of sanitary sewer would just be cleaned and CCTV to document its existing condition, as well as this section of sanitary sewer. As part of the documents that supported the conveyance of infrastructure, the town took easements over these utilities. There's no access easement across the entire property, and this section of sewer does not have an easement, and it should include an easement for the town to properly operate and maintain it. So there will be some additional easements needed to facilitate the proper operation and maintenance of the facilities within the special improvement area. The estimated project cost is $531,018. The town will finance this using the town's common benefit assessment methodology, defining equivalent dwelling units. The formula looks as a single family resident as 1 EDU. Multifamily residents or apartments are also considered 1 EDU per dwelling unit or 1 EDU per 7,500 gallons of annual water consumption. No water usage information exists for the 96 units, so all units were considered 1 EDU. Commercial and industrial users, there's 1 EDU per 700 or 75,000 gallons of annual water consumption. And there are 2 commercial users in the special improvement area, the Malozzi's Restaurant and the Belvedere Hotel. According to the town record, Malozzi's Restaurant's yearly average water usage from 2016 to 2018 was 867,433 gallons. This is equivalent to 12 EDUs. And according to town records, the Belvedere Hotel's yearly average water usage from 2016 to 2018 was 807,666 gallons. This is equivalent to 11 EDUs. This is a table which is somewhat hard to read, but it lists all of the properties within the special improvement area and all of the assigned EDUs relative to each individual parcel. And this table is also included in the map plan and report, and it identifies that there's 119 EDUs in the special improvement area. So what will the cost be for the special improvement area? In this particular example, we used the conservative interest rate of 3.5%. So I'd like to just point out that since the preparation of this PowerPoint presentation, we discovered that the town is actually getting a much better interest rate, which is 2.75%. So these numbers would reflect a number that's larger than what would actually be realized at the lower interest rate. But for purposes of presentation in comparison to the comptroller's number, the 3.5% is considered very conservative. The annual debt retirement would be $28,872 per year. That's principal and interest divided by the 119 EDUs. That would be $243 per EDU. The current operation and maintenance costs and treatment costs in sewer district number 2 is $313 per EDU. So the total proposed annual cost per EDU is $556 annually per EDU. And it is noted that the value of $556 per EDU is well below the New York State's comptroller value for sewer for the year 2020 of $818 per EDU. So therefore, New York State comptroller's approval is not required. And this is just a summary of the costs and how they accumulate to the $556 per year per EDU. Next steps. The sewer district would form the special improvement area by town board approval, subject to a permissive referendum. Following the referendum, the town would advance bonding. And concurrent with advancing bonding, the town would authorize the advancement of design development documents, including easement acquisitions. Following the design development phase of the project, the documents would be submitted to DEC for approval, as well as DOT, since there's a connection in Curry Road that needs to be incorporated as part of the replacement. Then there would be public bidding, award, and then construction of the project. And upon completion, there would be commissioning of the system. And I can take any questions that the board may have. And I can stop sharing the screen if nobody needs to review any additional figures.
Sorry.
Okay.
Mr. Lerner, I was going to say leave it there, but that's okay if somebody has to refer back to it.
Yep.
So, so does anyone else on public hearing 2 this evening? Anyone else on public hearing 2 this evening? Anyone like to be heard on public hearing 2 this evening? Okay, declare public hearing 2 closed at this time, and we'll move into public hearing 3, please.
To create Chapter 262 of the Code of the Town of Rotterdam entitled Veterans and Active Military Service as follows. Establish a chapter of the Code of the Town of Rotterdam to extend benefits allowable by state and federal law to veterans and individuals engaged in the active military service.
Okay, anyone like to be heard on public hearing 3? Ms. Miller Herrera, would you like to be heard on public hearing 3?
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, I think I talked about it when we called for the public hearing and just how we want to make sure that our veterans are being taken care of in the town. So this is a way for us to, look out for them.
And again, thanks everyone for their work on this as well. So anyone else on public hearing 3? Anyone else on public hearing 3 at this time? Okay, we'll declare public hearing 3 closed at this time, and move into public comment privilege of the floor. If anyone has anything that they would like to discuss regarding the resolutions that we have here before us, or anything that is on their mind this evening. Anyone? We've got a couple of callers there. Ms. McGurl, is there anyone who has indicated that they want to speak under public comment privilege of the floor? No? Okay.
No, there's not.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Let's move into the resolutions then, if we could. First resolution, Ms. Marco.
A resolution adopting the town board's 2021 preliminary budget and calling for a public hearing.
Okay. May I have a motion, please?
I'll move.
Okay. Motion by Mr. Signor. Is there a second, please?
I'll second it.
Okay. Second by Mr. Christou. Is there anyone on the question?
Yes, Mr.
Sure.
Supervisor. So we are still going to have time to discuss further and possibly submit requests for edits
Yes.
between now and the adopted, correct?
Yes. So generally speaking, what we'll be able to do here is to take action at the next meeting, hopefully, And if there are, we'll call it the general ledger numbers, there are changes that need to be made, we would basically list those changes on a sheet, basically, or create a new resolution for adoption, if you will, and then proceed. And that's what would make up the final budget before we vote on it.
Okay.
So we definitely have time. And then also, just to point out, you know, in the past, when the board came to an impasse where there was no ability to make changes, what would happen is the preliminary budget would become the adopted budget. We since I've, you know, we've been here, we haven't had that problem, thank God. So we will move, you know, we'll move on that. So we're still waiting on some outside, if you will, bids and numbers to come in, mostly on our medical insurance and some other things that we're waiting on, our liability insurance, trying to button those numbers up. For the most part, Bill, I'll tell you this, I think that the medical estimates, the estimates that we have in the budget are pretty solid. So I don't know that we'll see much movement there, if anything at all. But on the other big ticket item for us is our town's insurance liability, et cetera, for our vehicles, our buildings, and so on. So we're still waiting on that, and I'm hopeful that the timing will be right for us to have that. Otherwise, we go with the estimates on those. We'll work on some of these other things that a few of us have talked about here and there, and I know that there's been a lot of discussion amongst the board members. You know, a couple of you at a time there talking to each other about some of the things you want to see, and Mr. Christou and Ms. Miller Herrera, I haven't spoken with you directly yet, Joe, this week, so we'll get together and do that and go through a few things together. I spoke briefly with Mr. Signor, and I think I gently raised my voice at one point, but he didn't say anything back to me. But it was all good. What I mean by that, I say that in a professional manner, because you know, we have my unfortunate. So when I say it like this, I'll say it this way, and is that I recognize that I have been around a little bit longer, and I'll say it like this, have had to work with different people over the years, and I have not had and I'll be blunt, the ability to kind of help bring people together and bridge some gaps. And I just want to reflect on overall with this board, I haven't had that issue. What I mean by that is we all get passionate about different things that we feel passionate about, and sometimes you know, we can agree to disagree kind of thing that, you know, we all say that to folks, but overall I think that we're in a good position if we continue to do what we have to do from a budgetary perspective to not overestimate revenues, which is something we do not do. Not underestimate expenses, which is something that we do not do. We put our estimates as close to exactly what they should be, so that we're not we're doing the right thing for the taxpayers. But just as importantly, that in this budget, I want to do everything we can to compress and lower the dependency on the fund balance, and at the same time keep whatever you know, whatever it is that we're doing from the tax rate perspective and the tax cap, stay within that tax cap, which we are definitely under the tax cap. And also with these, you know, with what we spoke about tonight with the Medicare Advantage difference and some other differences, I'm hopeful that we'll actually get some lower costs in our budget here over the next couple of weeks as well, that we'll be able to, you know, reduce that level of change in the tax rate, which again, the tax rate is basically what it was in 2018. We've had this because of that, you know, we've discussed multiple times, because of our two-tier system. We have a commercial rate and a residential rate, and we see those rates kind of move up and down amongst each other. And so that's what we got to be cognizant of. And I know that everybody here is, because, you know, I know none of you to be other than fiscally conservative. So, and I appreciate that very much.
One last question. Do you know when CUSAC may have the audit complete? I want to say last year we had it by now, right?
No. So we have the one. We have we have
2018, I think.
2018 and 2019 should be done, I would think, very soon. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, the other thing that will, the other thing that
I did speak with Ken about it later last week, and he said that he anticipated that it would be forthcoming, but you may not have it prior to the budget being passed.
okay,
You know, it wasn't like an imminent any day now kind of thing. He was still, you know, gathering information that was necessary to subsequently complete it when we spoke last, I think Thursday or Friday.
yeah,
Okay.
but what you will have is you will have the balances, if you will, of our cash accounts and the capital project accounts and wherever it is that we have over the last few years, you know, placed money in order to reduce our dependency on debt, and more importantly, to basically have money to spend in the future on things that we know are vital and important to the town. So that's forthcoming as well. I spoke with our comptroller staff this morning, or was it? I think it was early yesterday morning. I honestly can't remember lately. The days are blending for me. I apologize for that. But I did have that discussion. So we are getting that. You'll be getting that documentation as well, so that you'll be able to see, you know, where we are. And the one thing that I just want to, you know, preface to say is that when we all see those numbers and we see, you know, what we have in cash and what we have in elsewhere, is that there's always this. I hate to say it like this, but kind of a knee-jerk reaction sometimes to say, well, look, you know, what if we take another 300,000 from here, or 200, whatever the numbers are, and not knowing what the future really holds. I want us to, again, hold the line where we are as much as possible, but know that you know, because of how we receive our revenues, in particular, mortgage tax, the court revenues, the sales tax, those revenues are all off, you know, by months. So even though something might be reflected in 2020 as a revenue, we might not get it until 2021, that kind of thing. So we need to keep cash on hand. And I know I've mentioned this in the past, you know, so that we don't find ourselves in a position like some other municipalities are finding themselves, particularly this year, in trying to create borrowings from other funds that they might have from other districts or whatever it is that they're doing, or creating bands to basically weather the storm for the next couple of months through the year, in the hopes that next year that they get enough revenue to pay those bands off from the prior year. That's not a, that's or RAN, I'm sorry, revenue anticipation. I said band, didn't I? Revenue anticipation, no. So that's the wrong thing to do. I know in the past, it was many years ago, the town did that, and hopefully we never see that happen to us again. And at that time when they did it, frankly, it was because they were spending way too much money. That's really what it boiled down to. It wasn't anything else other than that. I think that we've done a great job in maintaining our budgets, but more importantly, in building the town, the infrastructure, and you see it. You see it in the tax base. You see it in some of the other things going on around town. There's more to come, thankfully. I'm excited, honestly, about the next year, and hopefully next year we'll be able to celebrate our 200th anniversary that we couldn't celebrate this year.
Yeah.
That's really one of the things that I'm a little bit upset about, but it's okay. So
Okay.
anything else on that resolution? Any other questions? But we'll have time. You and I should meet sooner than later.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely.
So, okay, so we have a motion by Mr. Signor, a second by Mr. Christou. Anyone else on the question? Okay, Ms. Marco, please call the roll.
Mr. Christou,
Yes.
Mr. Gitterelli,
Yes.
Mrs. Miller Herrera,
Yes.
Mr. Signor,
Yes.
and Mr. Thomasone.
Yes.
5 yes.
Okay, Ms. Marco, next resolution.
A resolution appointing Joseph Disco Jr. as a laborer.
Can we have a motion, please?
I'll make the motion.
I think Mr. Gitterelli beat you.
That's fine. I'll second it.
Ellie, in a second by Mr. Christou. Okay. Anyone on the question? Okay, Ms. Marco, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Christou,
Yes.
Mr. Gitterelli,
Yes.
Mrs. Miller Herrera,
Yes.
Mr. Signor,
Yes.
and Mr. Thomasone.
Yes.
5 yes.
Okay, thank you. Resolution passes. Next resolution, Ms. Marco.
A resolution adopting a local law to amend Chapter 266, Section 46 of the Code of the Town of Rotterdam.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Gitterelli. Is there a second, please?
I'll second it.
Okay, second by Mr. Christou. Anyone on the question? Okay, Ms. Marco, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Christou,
Yes.
Mr. Gitterelli,
Yes.
Mrs. Miller Herrera,
Yes.
Mr. Signor,
Yes.
and Mr. Thomasone.
Yes.
5 yes.
Okay, resolution passes. Next resolution, Ms. Marco?
A resolution adopting a local law to create Chapter 262 of the Code of the Town of Rotterdam.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
I'll move.
Motion by Mr. Christou. Is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Gitterelli. Anyone on the question? Okay, Ms. Marco, please call the roll.
Mr. Christou,
Yes.
Mr. Gitterelli,
Yes.
Mrs. Miller Herrera,
Yes.
Mr. Signor,
Yes.
and Mr. Thomasone.
Yes.
5 yes.
Okay, the next resolution was tabled, so let's move on to the one after that, Ms. Marco.
A resolution calling for bids for vehicle repair and maintenance services.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Gitterelli. Is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Christou. Anyone on the question? Ms. Marco, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Christou,
Yes.
Mr. Gitterelli,
Yes.
Mrs. Miller Herrera,
Yes.
Mr. Signor,
Yes.
and Mr. Thomasone.
Yes.
5 yes.
Okay, resolution passes. Next resolution, please.
A resolution calling for bids for car wash services.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Gitterelli. Is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Christou. Anyone on the question? Okay, Ms. Marco, please call the roll.
Mr. Christou,
Yes.
Mr. Gitterelli,
Yes.
Mrs. Miller Herrera,
Yes.
Mr. Signor,
Yes.
and Mr. Thomasone.
Yes.
5 yes.
Okay, resolution passes. Next resolution, please.
A resolution calling for bids for dry cleaning services.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
I'll move.
Motion by Mr. Christou. Is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Gitterelli. Anyone on the question?
Mr. Supervisor, one quick question. Both this and the previous resolution. If there is a dry cleaner or a car washer that is interested, how do they get the details for the bid?
They get the, I believe through, go ahead.
BidNet.
Just
Yes,
through BidNet?
Bidnet, yeah.
Okay, it's all there. Okay.
Mhm.
Very good.
You know, if someone called us and asked us how to get them, we would go out, you know
I
what I mean?
would just note that Diane legally has to provide them with a copy if someone were to ask her, and Diane is aware of
Someone
that.
who-
Diane
who's not-
also knows that she can subsequently receive it as a result too, yeah.
Okay, so if somebody's not technologically savvy, then they could call Diane for some guidance.
Dana's pretty good. I know people have
mean-
said that, and she's done a good job with it, showing them how.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, in terms of just like how to access the information, I mean, Diane is able to send it to them and also subsequently stamp it in and receive it prior to the time that's articulated for the opening.
Right.
gotcha.
But in terms
Okay.
of technical assistance, yeah.
Perfect. Thank you for that.
So we have a motion by Mr. Christou and a second by Mr. Gitterelli. Anyone else on the question? Ms. Marco, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Christou,
Yes.
Mr. Gitterelli,
Yes.
Mrs. Miller Herrera,
Yes.
Mr. Signor,
Yes.
and Mr. Thomasone.
Yes.
5 yes.
Okay, resolution passes. Next resolution, Ms. Marco.
A resolution awarding the bid for sewage pump station alarms.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
I'll move.
Motion by Mr. Christou. Is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Signor. Anyone on the question? Okay, Ms. Marco, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Christou,
Yes.
Mr. Gitterelli,
Yes.
Mrs. Miller Herrera,
Yes.
Mr. Signor,
Yes.
and Mr. Thomasone.
Yes.
5 yes.
Okay, resolution passes. Next resolution, Ms. Marco.
A resolution authorizing a contract with Humana Group Medicare Advantage for Medicare benefits.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
I'll move.
Motion by Mr. Christou. Is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Okay, second by Mr. Gitterelli. Anyone on the question? Okay, Ms. Marco, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Christou,
Yes.
Mr. Gitterelli, Mr. Gitterelli?
You're muted, Joe.
Yes,
Okay. Mrs. Miller Herrera?
Yes.
wasn't that funny, Kate?
Mr. Signor?
Yes.
And Mr. Tomazon?
Yes.
Steve, did you say yes?
Yes, I said yes. I'm not muted, am I? Okay, yes, I said
You're
yes.
5 yes. I'm laughing too. I'm sorry.
Okay, we have 4 resolutions on our consent agenda. Someone make a motion for those resolutions, please.
I'll make a motion, BJ.
Okay, motion by Mr. Gitterelli and
I'll second it.
by Mr. Christou. Okay, so Ms. Marco, would you, anyone, sorry, anyone in the question on any of these? Okay, Ms. Marco, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Christo?
Yes.
Mr. Gitterelli?
Yes,
Mrs. Miller Herrera?
Yes.
Mr. Signor?
Yes.
And Mr. Tomazon?
Yes.
5 yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, anyone else on any committee reports or miscellaneous this evening? Anyone have anything that they'd like to bring up tonight? No? Okay. Are there any other motions this evening?
Mr. Supervisor, I move to adjourn.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Christou for adjournment. Is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Gitterelli. Okay. All in favor of adjournment signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? All right, well, I want to thank everyone for their time and attention this evening. And we'll get together again very soon.
All
Thank
right,
you very much.
thank you all.
The
Thank you.
meeting is adjourned.
Good night, everybody.
Be safe, everyone.
Have a
And
good
let's
night.
Thank you.
Stop the recording. Okay.